Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Trends. Woo! I'm so excited to be here this hour. Let me say this hour, right, guys? And I'm joining the studio, of course, always by the ever gracious. I will start out nice, but go off camera, right, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Ife. Ife, say hello to the people.
Hello. I'm happy to be with you this afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time you're watching. Yes.
I'm super pumped. Whenever you want to have unfiltered, real, multifaceted dimensions of conversation, all these big grammar shy. Whenever you want to have a swell time having scintillating conversations, your go-to is Trends on Ambience TV. And once again, we'd like to say welcome to another episode. My name remains Nakale, of course, and I will bring you all the juicy gist, all the juicy happenings across everything we want to talk about today. So mark your calendars. If you're here to share this broadcast, do well to share with your friends. Let's have as many people as possible join in on this broadcast. I'd like to give a big shout out to those online. You can just drop a comment in the comment section so that I can see your name and give you a big shout out. Big shout out to P. David. Jumoke Afolari says, I am now assured Nakale wants to dada his hair. It's a new way. How can I reach them if I don't look like them? After now, I'm going to dye my hair. Then I'm going to wear studs. It's a gradual process.
Dye it purple.
I'm joking, please, because this one, before they go and cut it now, I'll post it. Fresh Kiss says, wow, big shout out to you, Fresh Kiss. Wait, what exactly PJ, I see you. Blessing Ifelua, big shout out to you. Welcome on the show. Big shout out. Let's do well to share the link. We're still sharing, having as many people as possible joining. But today is Thursday. And one thing I cannot wrap my head around is how fast this week has been.
This year,
actually. It was just like 2 hours ago we're having a show on Monday, and now 2 hours later we're in Thursday. What has your week been like? What have you been up to? Literally, aside from looking for trouble, causing trouble, normal. We know
why
that.
I don't look for trouble.
I have a lot of affirmations after behind the camera.
Lying.
You will see.
Lying. I'm so people now.
You will
confirm.
see Ife like this. I think that Ife is cool.
Jumoke Afolari, Feoluwa, my love. I miss you too, PJ. Mwah. I miss you so much.
This is where you zoom into my face and you see me looking in disgust.
Yeah, just being it.
No wala. Beloved, you're welcome. No, you're not late.
Blessing.
You're right on time.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Let's have many more people joining. Babajide Olamide Obe says, greetings, beautiful people. Greetings right back at you. We celebrate you. Okay, Ife, tell me, what was your week been like, really?
My week has been fine. From beginning. Why are you doing?
I'm affirming. That's how you have conversations.
No, I don't trust that. But my week has
because
been
guilty
good.
conscience that is doing. Let me give you guys a spoiler. So yesterday, Ife was making a call in the office, and I was like, why so much blush? This ought to be an official call. You should be asking Ife why she was blushing that much profusely at the call.
As a lady, I'm soft when I'm talking, and it has to reflect. So, you laugh, you smile when you talk to people. So I don't know what you're talking about. Please.
Nice. You guys are watching. It's all of us that will get the IV when it comes out. No wala. All of us will be here. We'll put it out. All right, guys, you're welcome. Alamu Oluwakemi says, so good to be here. Hi, fellow and Mr. Nakale.
Hi.
Big shout out to you. Thank you for joining in on the show today.
Yes.
Okay, so, we are going to take a very short break, but not now. Take a very short break, not now. Remember, we promised you guys that we have games and we have giveaways. We still have them in the pipeline. Now, I want to encourage you that even as we go on today's episode of Trends, whilst we drop the question, please do well to attend to it, because you would love the gift. You would love it. You love it. You know what I say? You love it. I promise you love it. And we're just going to take a short break, and then we're going to have a few announcement videos played. And when we return, we'll get into today's conversation. See, today's conversation is one you don't want to miss. So grab your popcorn. tell your friends, share it. And I don't want to give you spoilers anyways, but when you come, I hope the title has not given us spoilers already. But when you come in, after this very, 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 very short break, we'll be back with all the juicy gist and all the nice conversations. So stay tuned and invite someone. See you in a bit.
In a world that moves fast, the past still pulls strings, and beneath every headline is a century-old story, begging to be told. From ancient thrones to modern trade wars, from forgotten revolutions to viral culture, we connect the dots others ignore, because to understand the now, you must first uncover the why. Ambience TV presents
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's a new show airing on Ambience TV. It's called Deep Dive. And trust me, when we talk about Deep Dive, if Deep Dive was a show, that show is it. It is, I mean, totally.
You don't
and
want to miss it.
Yes, it's the documentary series where we get to bring you untold stories, unfiltered, and we do deep research and we bring you documentaries that will, stimulate your mind and expand the horizons of your mind. So stay tuned for that and keep your notifications on for that one. All right, straight to today's conversation, guys. How many of you have seen the movie Straw? Gang, 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 gang.
Oh
My God.
Oh my.
And let's talk about Straw. Now, in fact, that's the conversation today because we are reviewing the movie Straw here on Ambience TV on Trends. Right. I saw that movie and I would say it took everything in me. It took the grace of God. It took the hand of God. It took me knowing that this is a movie. I had to keep reminding myself that this is a movie for me not to cry. But before we even go further and explain and share our experiences, guys, let me know if you've seen it. Put in the comment section. Tell us what your experience was like seeing the movie Straw. And if you're yet to see it, don't worry. We'll give you not so much of a spoiler, but we'll just give you
enough hints.
Yes, here and there.
Yeah.
And while you're waiting to watch the movie. But let me know, Ife.
Yeah.
Let me start from you.
I've watched it.
Guys, Ife wept. She cried.
No.
She cried. She carried in the miasma of her putridity.
No. As a hard lady, I don't cry. I don't
Bro.
do such.
Okay. Fam Junior said, I've seen the movie Straw. I rate it 4/10. How?
Wow. Why?
Like when? Who are you?
How's that possible?
How can you rate that movie 4/10? Anyways, you might have a point, but let's know why you rated it 4/10.
Yeah, I think we should even start from that. Let's know if you've watched it.
Yes, and what you rate the movie as.
Yes.
Nwabueze Izuma, I hope I pronounced that correctly, says, I haven't, but my contacts are oppressing me. If you have not seen that movie, you have great self-control.
Honestly,
because I mean,
true.
it's everywhere. Jumoke Afolari says, I've seen it. I crowed. Bro, I carried. I did cry. No, I can't form my steez. I did cry, but if I had to console Ife, I say if not for Trent, I'm going through all of this. So if I saw the movie, I mean it was a barrage of tears. We had a whole parade.
No.
Right? Babajide says, yes, I've seen the movie. I dropped my review on my X page. Oh, please, you can give us little hints of what your review was like here in the comments as we go into it. The movie Straw is really emotional, but no be to cry.
Are you a man?
It's giving hard guy
Honestly.
vibes. I like that one. Risako says, I've seen it. It was simple when I watched it, but after watching and seeing people's exaggeration of the movie, I'm left wondering, like, wait, is it the same movie I watched?
No.
So I think there is always the hype that comes before a movie that makes you see it in a different light. And sometimes you can either make you underwhelmed when seeing the movie or get you very, very excited for the movie. For example, someone can hype a movie so much so when you see it, you're underwhelmed, like, is this it? And then you probably just stumbled on the movie and saw it, and then later the buzz came about the movie. So I think that's the case here. Fab Junior says they just copied the plot twist from 2019 movie Fractured and Sweet Girl. You see, it's people like this that used to kill joy. Bro, people are just celebrating this movie. Now you have scattered the movie in my mind because I
now we'll have to look for Fractured and Sweet Girl.
I know, right? Blessing Feolua says it should definitely be a 10 over 10 because I also agree.
Yes.
Not because it was so phenomenal. I think many times the less is more. Less is more usually, and I say that a lot because many times I think our definition of a 10/10 movie is when there are CGIs, there are all of those VFX, all those special effects, and all those extra things like Avengers and all those Black Panther and the likes, right? But sometimes just a relatable movie.
The story, the acting, the way they were able to portray the emotions.
For
correctly.
me, I think that's very, very integral. And even when we get into the deep dive, when we get into the conversation proper, right? There are a few things I wanted to highlight that I observed in that movie, and I was going to share. But let's keep reading the comments. If you want to take a few of them.
Yeah, I think
Fab Junior after okay.
Babajide Olamide Obe, it was overrated, not what they hype at all. It's 7/10 movie for me. No, 7/10 is still a good rating now.
It's just a
it's
bit.
Still a good.
It's above average.
Yaya Pongo says, I wouldn't say it's a 4/10, but when some things were mentioned, I lost interest in it.
Wow, things like what?
Yeah, let's know. Then the Fab Junior. If you've seen Fractured, you know Straw was a low budget. I have to see this movie.
Now I have a new assignment.
Yes, we have to see it. And Yaya Pongo says, I felt like the movie was exaggerated and people also overhyped it. It was alright.
Someone says just another Black American movie, nothing special. So it's like you have
people. What's going on?
Okay, but I want
these are hard audience, so
yeah. So I think the thing here is the number of people here saw it on the strength of the hype, and like I said earlier, once there's a hype that comes with a movie, somehow your expectations is skyrocketed by 1,000%. So much so that when you go to see it, there's always a tendency to be underwhelmed. So you're like, is that it has finished? That's all.
It's not as much as.
But yes, so I feel like one of the major things that they did with that is that they spoke to a community. They spoke to a community, although upon still, I still believe that there are things that should not become the norm, because we understand that anything that brings orientation is at the end of the day targeted toward culture, right? Whatever frames your orientation will eventually frame your culture. Yes. So there is the culture within the Black American, in fact, the female Black American society community. Now, generally, Black Americans, naturally, because of history, the odds had been against them for the longest time, and so a lot of them have had to fight their way through. Now, years have come, years have gone, evolutions have come in. I mean, time has passed, right? But there is still the construct of the victim mentality, which in itself is not always a lie. But you see, if you stay there, the best you will be is a struggling victim that has made something for themselves. What I'm trying to say is that the average Black American is wired to because I also don't want to be insensitive when I say what I'm saying, right? It is the truth, because there is a system that is actually against them. But you see, much more than the system being against you, they must accept that this is not who you are. You are not defined by those systems. You must rise above and dictate a new narrative where, until it becomes the new normal, that there is equal right for everybody. But when I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes,
because
sure.
The reality is that there is subjugation. The reality is that there is no equity or equality, as it were. But if we keep staying on those realities, we will never break through, because it's what we say that becomes reality. So the more we keep reorienting our minds, renewing our mind, and speaking that we have equal right and equal stay, not just fighting for it, but also speaking and seeing ourselves in that light, a time will come, if we do that consistently over time, it becomes the new normal. It becomes the new normal.
Even the system will have to adjust, because it will see that these people, they are no longer at the point where they are seeing seeing themselves as victims. They are now seeing themselves like, we can do more. We don't have to keep ourselves to the narrative. And one thing I noticed is that even the people like carrying this narrative, they are not really in support. It's not as if they care. There's a little political, agenda behind it. Is when it's time for election, that's when they will now try and say, hey, the blacks, hey, let me be your voice, let me do this. So there's some aspect to it.
I saw a post by some, I think I just stumbled upon it, and it slipped my mind. I didn't screenshot it. If not, I've posted it. But what the person was literally trying to say was saying what I stand for, what I just said. How that there is the conscious and unconscious construct and the narrative that is giving about the black community, especially black American community, that they are subjugated, they are second-class citizens, they are victims. The word there is victims, that they are victims. Yes. They are victims of the system and all that. The truth of it is that there is a system that is that makes them disadvantaged naturally. But then we have seen people rise in the midst of that. And first of all, I even want to talk about the like I know he's not the producer. I don't know if he's the director now. Tyler Perry. This was the Tyler Perry Studios production, right? So the Tyler Perry's movie, and want to give. Now, on a creative scene, I know that this is a Christian channel, but on a creative level, we need to give it up for what Tyler Perry has done in the movie industry for blacks, literally. He has become a powerhouse where I might not agree with many of his stuff because you don't. I know, right? Because but the truth of it is he's speaking to a community. When I saw Acrimony, how many of us have seen Acrimony? Now let me go to the comments because I know I'm going to like that one. How many of us have seen Acrimony?
I have. Me.
So if you've seen Acrimony, you would understand that it was not just these things are realities, right? Now, when I saw this movie, of course, the same lady is the one that acted. What's her name now?
Tara G.
Tara G. Yeah. So when I saw this movie, my mind flashed back to Acrimony, and I remember the emotions I had running through me when I saw Acrimony. Yeah. It was a lot of things at once. It was anger. It was compassion. It was frustration on her behalf. It was also, I wish she understood on his behalf, because he also was not trying to. So it's a bomb. Stuff like that actually happens. These are people's realities. We somehow, as the church, sometimes are not private to these realities because we believe that life is straightforward. We believe that this is
Once you give your life to Christ, everything goes smoothly.
Now let's touch light what this lady went through, or supposedly went through in a day. Because until I went to the end, I understood. But look at that. Let's say you watched it through, you didn't finish it, and you just saw all of these things. It kind of gives you an idea of what Job went through in the Bible. How that in one day she seemed to have lost everything. She woke up that day, her daughter was taken from her. That same day, they stole her car, they impounded her car. She was thrown out of the house. Went to the bank. Give me my money. They not give. She
went back to the boss.
Before she even told that, she had murdered someone. Give me my money. Boss refused to give her money. Robbery happened. She killed the robber. Boss wanted to blame her.
But the man said, "Get mine." Though you see someone with gun.
So the thing is this. I think so. I saw on Twitter. He's one of the, there are certain actors that play certain characters. Those characters are villainated for life. They are blacklisted for life. He just stopped that rank recently.
Really?
Because people don't like you, bro. You literally made her go through what she went through. But now, when you now get to the end of the movie, you now understand that it's not his fault, because she was literally hallucinating.
No, wait. Was she? I thought she was hallucinating just the kid part.
Everything about the child, when she got the call that
okay. But he didn't know that.
He didn't know that.
So
you can't blame him.
No, I can't blame. I do blame him. I will.
Right? What I wanted to say is this, that I feel like it's now watching in, we have vantage points, right? So we are seeing what she's seen. We are not seeing from his POV. We're seeing her POV. So we were compassionate. If you saw his POV, you would see a crazy lady.
His POV. He knows she has a child.
Bro, that's a workplace. I'm not endorsing what here. Let's see check comments. Because I can feel PJ scratching me from behind. Let me just see what's going on in the comment sections, right? we'll get back to this. Let me not lose my train of thoughts, right? Okay, someone says they just copied the plot twist. Okay, I think we read that already.
Where did Achalugo come in? I'm seeing Achalugo. What's going on?
Babajide said the storyline about struggles a single mother goes through while pushing it all alone was relatable and very valid. But I think Janaya overacted the role.
No. That's
the only way to communicate it.
Yes, that's the only person
I think we underestimate the power of grief. Because she had a mental breakdown because of grief. That was the definition of that. Yes. She had a full-on mental breakdown on the strength of a grief that she had, like a deep.
There was a disconnect. I think she mentioned it now at when she was talking to the bank manager, like when she took her child to the hospital, and since then, like she has been having some issues or something. Yeah, she mentioned it. So no, she didn't.
Let me read a few more so that we can go. Yeah, Rapongo says indeed you could tell it was low budget. What? It's a Perry movie. People have mind though. Fab Junior says 3/10. You
are just fractured a hard man.
Alamu says I haven't, and I don't think I will see it too because of this cry
testimony. No, actually,
I'm a very emotional person. I cannot be having a headache after a movie. Waboezi says I'm not really a movie person. I can say even with all the hypes on that Achalugo and Odogo's movie up to now I haven't seen it. Same as Straw. Izuma, hi. Please don't compare the Achalugo thing with Straw. If not, we'll fight. Exactly. The reason I said is just regular is because I've seen other Tyler Perry movies. I have a solid point there because I think he speaks to a community, so he's passionate. So a lot of his storylines circle around struggles of that community. So I think I understand what he says by that. Juwon Loalau says the reason I said I think I've read that. Izuma says Grace, LOL, I'm not comparing, I'm just saying the same way Achalugo was hyped is the same way the hype that comes with Straw.
I've started explaining.
Like the pressure hoop you get TV, but even so upon still I'm not watching. So I think the thing, let's not even dive in, but let me digress a bit. The thing with Achalugo, that Achalugo movie was because why I even had to see it was not even because of the hype, was because I saw that all of a sudden that guy was being featured in every other movie.
Yes,
that period, it was like everybody was just jumping on the rave, and
even adverts.
Everything.
Everywhere.
And I was like, okay, let me even see how well he did. What exactly it was that made this guy this popular and all. And I went and. Well, you see, Nigerians we are very cynical sometimes because the guy try now. If you try, give it to him. He try, right? He try. Let's just end it there. He try.
Also, before you go on, please remember, like this broadcast, share, invite your friend, invite more people so that we can have more fun together. Like, share. And let's enjoy it together.
Yes. Going on. So I was trying to make an analogy earlier that I said you should remind me of. Okay. What was that?
About the man.
Yes, exactly. So I was saying how that now when you look at that movie, it's not too many. Like someone said, someone was alleging it's a low budget movie. First of all, like I said, a movie doesn't have to have too many aesthetics to be a great movie.
This particular movie doesn't
need that.
It's talking about like poverty, suffering. So
what the movie needed was a deep and a very sensual monologue and communication of the situation.
I've noticed that thing about Tyler Perry movie. His dialogue are usually poor. It gives like primary school kind of dialogue. Like,
but you can't not here now, not on this movie.
Yeah, but there were still some.
So the thing is this.
No, Acrimony is. I can't remember the dialogue, but
yes, because the thing is this: when we say a Tyler Perry movie, everybody just believe that every movie that has a Tyler Perry name on it was Tyler Perry was involved in it, right? See, there are Tyler Perry has a studio.
Yes,
there's a massive studio in ATL, right?
Yeah,
and they have productions. It's a film house, just like saying Ambience TV production, right? And then as big as Ambience TV is, we might have correspondences, different segments, and everybody might be given a task. Yes, to produce different things, right? So if it comes out, someone does something that's not all that, and then someone like Ambience TV is always doing. Now that's the case there. But movies that Tyler Perry himself, that these are like A-list movies from the company, he identifies with them. For example, Acrimony is one of them. Tyler Perry, all of those Madea stuff and all that, and you see how well those movies do. And So I want to talk about the uncle, that's brother, that the boss, right?
The
at
boss,
work.
the evil
Now, my
man.
only contention that I have with him, I had issues with him prior to the end of the movie, and I will
Okay.
explain.
Okay.
And like I was trying to say, I don't endorse being,
Add on your stuff.
yes, and not having empathy,
Compassion. Yeah.
right? But let's be very honest. This is a workplace. There was a huge queue, a whole queue on her aisle because she was not attending to it, and she got a call. This person had been battling. He didn't know that she had lost her daughter because apparently even she too, in the moment, did not even know that. Like she knew, but she was already lost.
Okay.
Yes, she just needed to cash her check and all that. So in that moment, this is just a manager trying to make work go on.
This is my question for you. What's her track record like? Is she so? I know we don't get to see that in the movie.
Because me and you don't have the answer. I don't have it. You don't have it.
I know we don't get to see that, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying the reason why I will condemn him and I will keep condemning him. Yes, is a wicked
Aluminium
boss.
condemn.
Was because our track record. In fact, we to some extent we have an answer to that because our friend on the show, like I said on the show, our friend later when the police came to interview her, she was like she's a good person and she doesn't talk to anyone. She doesn't have any friend to talk to. So that means to some extent she's a good staff. So if this is someone that is always diligent about delivering their duty and you see them pick up a call, at least
So here's the thing.
look at the track record.
If you watch that movie, now because very soon people will think like I'm defending the brother. I don't know defending the but let me just say this, right? The contention is this. He had mentioned because he actually told her to be back in 30 minutes, right? Because it was a work hour. They were short-staffed. They clearly
Yes, he
right?
mentioned it.
Yeah, they were short-staffed,
true.
and he needed
And
this
there were a
person.
lot
This
of
is
people,
work,
so it was
right?
a rush hour.
However, I still gave her 30 minutes. Now, this person is going on and saying that call that she received was not from the school. She actually received a call from child care services. I be from the hospital, one of them. She received a call about her child and because of the mental strain she was going through, the disorder that she had to experience by virtue of the loss that she was grieving. She interpreted it as she had a call from school, right? So that was when the whole confusion came in and everything. So it's not necessarily like she had it was not necessarily like he was trying to be too difficult. He was literally doing his job.
Yeah,
So but when she
I
came in,
understand.
I think the part where the whole thing went off was when he thought she
Went to the bank.
she was the one that organized the robbery.
Yes,
and the
yes.
reason why he said that was
Because he
because
mentioned her
the
name.
robber mentioned her name.
But she has a name tag on.
So at first instance, look at the situation. Now let's be very objective, right?
And would she shoot him if they were together?
Let's be very objective. This is it. Number one, this is someone that had just been sacked from work. She needs money, right? Number two, this person is distressed. Clearly, this person there's something they call how do they call it in law now? Has motive, something like that.
Yes,
There's
motive for
Yes,
crime.
there's motive for crime, right? Because this person is desperate, needs money, and when you're desperate and need money, what's the crime that is most there in his office trying to get her check and beg him to just give her some money? The robber comes and calls her name. This is also someone in distress because he's just the manager. He's gonna have to give account, and
how the
this
money
is his
went
interpretation of it. If we're going to be merciful to her, we should also be merciful to him because this was an on-the-spot interpretation. How that should have played out was that when the police comes, there should have been a statement. I don't know this person. Investigation would have taken place and found out that she was innocent because she
Yes.
went on to shoot the person. Because now that's self-defense, right?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
if the boss was saying that she stole, that does not automatically mean that she stole. It was just an accusation. It was going to go through the processes. So she shooting him. He actually was the victim in that situation.
Yes,
We are
he
just only
was.
seeing it because the story was told from her POV. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I get you. But I still condemn him.
You see, this is how life is. This is how life is. Okay, let's read a few more comments. The straw for me is like 4/10. People were angry. Someone say she hallucinated everything. Actually, the whole thing.
Everything. It's just the kid part.
Everything. Like, so the hallucination was, every response she gave was a product of the hallucinations. When she took her to school, the girl was not there.
Yes.
When she told her bye-bye, she was not there.
Yes. All the issue with the is it the principal? Don't take my child away. All of that did not happen.
It was her. That was her mind's way of communicating to her that death had snatched her daughter away.
Yeah.
So it looked like she had. So it was a mental breakdown.
But the police thing happened.
The police thing happened. It happened.
Okay.
That happened. So it was a trigger also for her. So the what do you call it? The house thing also happened.
Yes.
It was also a trigger for her. So everything that happened throughout was just her being at the other end. So the truth of it is that it depends on whose POV you are telling the story from. Because if we do another movie and the manager is the main lead actor, now you now read it from the start. You say, crucify her. She's a mentally. So I think that the whole aim of that movie, one of the major aims, was to bring awareness to mental disorder that comes from the depth of grief and trauma. A lot is not said about the effect, the far-reaching effect of trauma on people's minds. We have a lot of people that have been through traumatic experiences, have PTSD, have major issues that cannot even be understood by an average person.
Yeah.
Because especially in this side of the and one of the things, so I had to go over her page, Tara J, I think her name is Tara J.
Henson, yes.
Yeah, I had to go over her page to see and she's a strong advocate for mental wellness.
Okay.
So I see how she was able to interpret that movie. Now, when it comes to screenplay, the acting of that movie, I would give it a solid 10 over 10. Why?
Yes.
Because the movie,
for her, our own acting.
Not just her.
No.
Okay, whose acting do you have an issue with?
The cop, the
white
detective
cop?
lady. No, that man is just something else. No, I'm talking about the female detective.
Officer Raymond.
Yeah.
Why?
Her acting is kind of childish. Like she's
an
overdone.
A-list artist. No. So let me say this. I don't know how y'all see this, man. But I was intrigued by the whole thing. See, I'm a movie person myself, and I believe that my sense of judgment.
The way she even walked up to.
Walked up to who? How should have walked up?
The way she was walking around, the way she walked into the car where they set up the whatever.
How do cops walk? How do police work?
It was overdone. And then this thing is common for Tyler's movie is wigs. The wig he gives the ladies.
Hey, God,
that detective wig is giving funny.
Give me what's funny.
Like it's funny.
I'm the guy here, but I said everything there was perfect. What's her name now? The lady. I was just on her page just a moment ago to see her reviews of the movie, and she's an A-list actress.
And she's good now. It depends on the script you are giving. So I'm not really condemning her. I think it's the way she.
One of the points where I almost shed a tear was the conversation she was having with.
That's the least emotional part for me.
There was a part where they spoke and she was almost breaking down,
narrating her own, that the chief had to tell her to calm down, that she's getting emotional.
Yes.
I don't really feel that part.
Yeah, I feel like it is scripted because how? It's not true. I don't believe. Anyways, let me read comments. Somebody said some of the acting was bad.
He died like a chicken. This the Fab Junior. You're not nice.
If they shoot you, you don't die. It's only a Nigerian movie that they say, I
would die.
You have shot me, and now I would die. I mean, Olakunle says, great movie, well acted, very emotional, full of lessons such as never. Don't be overwhelmed. Always endeavor to ease your stress. The best way you can in a godly way. It's not weak to ask for help. Thank you.
Very important.
Thank you. I agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I believe that the acting was great. I believe that the main character acted very well. I believe everybody played their part.
Everybody tried.
Because, see, we are Nigerians, so we might not necessarily understand firsthand what, at least for those of us that are Nigerians, and I know we have people that are not from Nigeria here, but those of us that are Nigerians, you might be limited by your worldview of what these struggles are
our
like.
Hardness, the way we are used to add circumstances that we've been taught to just absorb and move
the kind of life she has is in Nigeria, for some people, she just letting work because
normal
it's
life.
normal. These are average person. People will envy you. She has a car, bro. She has a car.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a
have a
Corolla
house,
that
you
she
have
can
a
use for
work.
both. She
You have
has
a work you
2
go
jobs.
to.
So for I know that we might not really understand it contextually, but if you can just be very, very open-minded, you realize that it was really, really great acting. Because for any movie to spur that emotions, you did not cry because you fought yourself from crying.
No, I cried. I didn't cry, but I almost cried.
You see?
At the last part where the bank manager and the lady walked out, like I've never had anyone stand beside me, and then they walked together.
That's why you cried.
Honestly, I cried.
I mean, it was,
That's
it was
the
a whole
emotional
lot.
part for
It
me.
was a whole lot. The Fab Junior says he mentioned her track record now. He said she always give unreasonable
excuses.
You see that? You see
okay.
that? The reason why
How
it's
is it
unreasonable
unreasonable?
is because she always has to tend that to her child. She always has to do things. She was doing so many things at the same time, even before the girl died.
Yes.
So for a boss that is used to getting those excuses, it turns someone off, right?
Yeah.
Jumoke Afolarin says, "Am I the only one that feels they should have done better with the costume and the quality of production? It kind of felt like a movie shot in the late 90s." Well, I don't know what to say to that. Anyways, but I do. I do know.
I think what they are trying to portray is like this kind of poor
Suburban
mindset.
feel, yes.
The community and all
Yes.
of that. Not a well-to-do community. Even look at the place where she was living when the landlady threw her stuff out and everything. So they are trying to portray that this is like the lower class, the lower of the lower class. This is how they
the color
live.
grading, everything in the movie. I believe it was intentional.
Yes,
to give us
everything
the
is
feel.
speaking.
Yes. Because you cannot give off an
lower class,
yes,
have everything,
or middle class, or
yes.
you have to give the that bottom, right? And I think they achieved that, in my opinion. However, could it have been better? Yes, but for those of us saying it could have been better, as compared to what, what is a portrait of what could have been better? Because I feel like the originality of the story is in the way it was told.
Yes.
So if it was told anyway different, it will not be this story. It will not be
something else.
It will be something else. It will not be straws. And it just made me understand where the name probably would have come from, straw. Because the last straw that breaks the camel's back, I believe that's where it came from. Because it just took that death to trigger her. She had to endure many things, living on the edge, trying to make things work and all that. But the moment that one straw, that the death of her child, because everything she did literally was for her child. The moment that the child died, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And she tipped. I was seeing because Taraji P, I think that's her name, Taraji, she is a single mother in real life. So I was seeing an interview after post production straw and all that. She was being interviewed and all that. And someone asked her, how does real life, like how did she also able to play the character as a single mom, playing the character of a single mom? How was she able to handle the emotions and all of that and all get? And it just struck me that and she says something. She says she's a very emotional person, so she can switch. She's great at her job, but much more than just acting, she embodies the role.
Yes.
She goes on a journey with it, and she says she loves working with Tyler Perry because I think he allows her to be original. So even though there's a script, she scripts, but she's allowed to
still go out of script.
Be real. And that's why you barely see a movie from her that is not emotional and doesn't appeal to you. If you are not emotional, it's because you intentionally tell yourself that this is a movie, bro, calm down. Like I was doing. I kept telling myself, this is a movie, bro, calm down. Right? So I mean, it was super, super awesome. So as we begin to wrap up this segment of the show, right, on this movie, let me know if you're going to rate this movie over 10. For those of us that have seen it, let me know what you rate the movie. We've gotten some ratings already. We have some 4, we have some 10, we have some 7s. So let me know what you rate the movie if you've seen it.
I will rate it.
Ife.
I will rate strictly for the story.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole compendium. Everything. If you're going to rate it, everything, considering everything.
I rate it 7/10. 7/10, which is still good. And the reason is, like I said, there are some part that I felt was overdone.
Like
not
what part?
the detective part.
So what
It
would
was
you have wanted her to
overdone.
do?
Not the way there are some dialogue that just felt like something I wrote, because I used to write a story, something I wrote when I was still in secondary school. Yeah, like the kind of dialogue drama that I would write when I was in secondary school, because you want the emotional part. Like I just don't. I didn't feel it. No, not the whole thing. There were some parts that it was overdone, like the conversation with the chief telling her to dial it back, trying to connect with her. I felt it was overdone. And another person that I really like, not that I like her, but I like the way, like, she acted very well, that you almost hate her. Not even almost. Okay, I'm a child of God. We don't hate. But I dislike her. Is the other
the teller.
Yes. That lady is annoying.
So I think for me, there was anybody
She's
that I
not
felt overdid
compassionate.
it, was that lady.
Really?
Yes, that was the only thing that I felt like it's not necessary. But why? And I will explain why.
Okay.
Why I felt that way was because I don't feel anybody is that mean. In the sense that, in given the circumstances, nobody will be that mean.
There are some heartless people.
Even though you are heartless.
Though even the woman, the elderly woman, she was
yes.
like, no, don't you have compassion?
So,
how will you hear
yes,
this story and not feel?
It's not normal to see somebody like that. And one of the ways to be
but there
natural
are some selfish people
is to be normal. Yeah, it's
because
okay to be selfish.
the origin
even the
of
other
her issue is that she was selfish.
Even the other teller was also selfish. She was the one that did that video now. She was trying to
okay.
But it
She
was
calmed
understandable.
down.
That lady was a bit overboard. I feel like, given in real life, in that situation, everybody would be composed. Everybody would be scared. You will not have the liberty to say those things.
Okay, now I get
yes,
you.
you will not be able to say those things, even though you have it in mind. I'm not saying that they won't think it. You will think it, but you will say it.
Yes,
because it will blow your head.
but you are seeing
you don't know.
And you even think, and also the back thing, they thought it was a bomb.
Now that for me, of course, okay. I think I get when you guys say some things where that storyline, that part was it was too easy, right? Because number one, what was the motive of coming in with a bomb? There was no antecedent of the bomb. There was no antecedent of a bomb.
No, but they thought she came to the bank to rob them.
But she clearly stated that she didn't come to rob them.
Yeah, and then they've even started. She has explained that issue and the reason she's doing this and all of that, and they still thought she had a bomb in her
I feel like
bag.
there was no rational reason for them to conclude it was a bomb. If this person,
it was just the flashing stuff.
It was just they would have been, if they were confused as to whether it's a bomb or not, it's understandable. But it was not like they were confused. It was more like they concluded. They were sure. In fact, the whole Calvary came because they thought it was a bomb.
And then another part that I thought is overdone is the FBI agents just coming in and throwing
no,
power
that's
all around.
You don't know FBI. That's how they are.
No, I know. There's always a disconnect between the local police force and the FBI. But at least, like, it was just overdone.
No. On that one, they are like that. Because see, it's a power tussle, right? Okay, this is my territory. You're coming in.
But it was
FBI
so
is federal.
like,
It's like saying the soldier, the army. You know, the army is federal. The police in Nigeria is still federal.
But I felt it was dialed up a bit just to create like tension and make you hate them on sight. Because the chief was even trying to explain like this person already. No. That's, in fact, I refuse to accept. You already have a detective that has a connection with the lady. With the robber, with whatever, there's already a connection between them. You don't just yank that person off because you are doing power tussle.
So let me say this.
And then on call, she's like, I want to speak to this person, and you are still saying no. You speak to
like
me.
I said,
are you joking?
Calm down. Why you sound like this is because you saw that movie from, what's her name now? Manyana, what's her name? What's her name? The movie, the lead actor. Taraji. What's her name on set?
I don't know her name.
I forgot the name. But anyways, you feel that way because you saw it from her POV.
Perspective, yeah.
if you saw it from their POV, that issue had lasted for hours, almost 12 hours, they said.
Yeah, he said
Now,
it.
in politics and in government, in America especially, it's not Nigeria that everything is lawless. I mean, sorry, I don't mean, you know what I mean, right? Allegedly, everything is lawless. But over there, everything matters, because the more it lingers, you see that already there was an unrest that was happening. There was already riots brewing.
See, now this thing that you even mentioned is another reason for the FBI guy to calm down, because the lady, the detective, the cop detective lady was telling her that we have a way to solve this thing quietly. There's already an uproar outside. If we go in out and everything, it's going to become a white black crime, like all of that. So it doesn't make sense. You can see this thing, there's already a connection. They're already trying to
I
solve
get
it.
what you're saying, no, but it only makes sense. This you are saying makes sense from her POV. From the government's POV, they cannot afford more time wastage. These guys had been given 12 hours. They had not made any headway. They had just been sitting down. If she was really, now it's you that is watching and know she was not going to kill anybody. They did not know, because
hostages.
From the government's POV, this is a terrorist attack, potentially holding a bomb, because they did not know, because they reported to them that there was a bomb with her.
Except that when that silly lady.
Do you get? Continue. So there's a bomb on. There are hostages. There is robbery. So, and this has lasted for 12 hours. These guys seem to not know what they are doing, because if they knew what they were doing, it shouldn't have lasted 12 hours. 12 hours is a lot. I mean, since morning till now, we have not done 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot, right? So, if that is the case, you have to cut them some slack to understand that, oh, okay, if these guys are agitating for this thing, it means, or if it looks as though they were uneasy, they were impatient, it's not like they just came immediately the matter came. They came 12 hours later. And those people are still saying, give her time. They believed in her because they had built a rapport. These people are coming to solve the matter. I was making an example. It's like the army. When the army has to come on scene for any matter, there's no explanation, but it's to clear the thing and is to just ensure that there is peace, law and order. So if FBI is coming, this is a federal, it means that the matter had left just the county, it had left the district, it had left the state, it has moved to a federal level. So it means that probably there was a call from the presidency or from whosoever is in charge there, at wherever the call came from, that this matter is brewing. It was breaking news across the country. So you see why he could no longer afford that patience.
But he was overdoing it.
So I think at the end of the day, it's just like life. We react based on the point of views that we have. Perspective. I realize that in life, perspective matters a whole lot. When I tell the same story from different perspectives, you realize that you now have compassion for them. There's a way I'll tell the story from the manager's perspective, and you'll be like, oh, he was actually a victim. What did he do? He was just doing his job. He was just doing his job. I mean, okay, what if we now find out in his perspective that he too is going through a bad divorce, he's having a bad day, his life too is not making sense, so he's angry coming to work, and then because of that he gets shot. Do you see that perspective often, determines a whole lot of things? But a few comments, right? Ife, you want to take those? Okay,
so Yaya Pongo says, thank you, Ife. The only part of the female detective I liked was when she confronted the bad officer. Exactly.
With that slap.
And then Juwonlo Alao says, at PJ, the production coloring is part of the theme of the movie. Olakunle Olowo Kere. The movie couldn't have been better. The part that got me emotional was when she told the cashier, "Why are you shaking? Why is she giving me this so much money?"
Yes, because she was not trying to steal.
She just wanted
her money. And forget anybody that faults the acting. No, I feel like you don't even know what's up, because especially Taraji's acting. She did it well.
10
you
over
could
10.
see the confusion, frustration, pain, anger.
Like, why are you giving me?
No, that's not what I'm asking. Stop making this look like a robbery. She said at some point she didn't even know she was holding a gun.
Yes.
That's man. That's a whole lot. There's a whole lot to talk about there. People can do the darnest things when they are pushed to the wall.
And that's another thing. Like, we have to be careful with the way we relate with people.
Yes.
You don't know what people are going through. You don't know what you will say to them that will make them
snap. A little
snap.
Kindness can go a long way. A little kindness. I mean, look at the kindness that the cashier woman showed her.
The general
manager showed her.
Yes.
That's
the most touching part for me.
Was more preaching and teaching and whatever than anybody could have done for her. Because that just showed her that she has someone.
Yes,
And it's
she
easy to
even
understand
said
that
it that no one has ever stand
Yes,
with me before
yes.
and all of that.
Olakunle Olokere says, never say that. There are mean people. My wife used to have a boss that
Wow.
made her colleague lose her pregnancy because of stress from work, and she gave her a
Ah
query
ah
2 weeks after resumption.
ah ah. Oh
so,
my.
so those kind of people, what you do is when you see those kind of people, you just ask for their address and send it so that we'll just greet them, just send them
Well
flowers and all that.
done.
But actually, difficult people exist. The Bible calls them wicked and unreasonable people. So when you meet an unreasonable people, it's wickedness. Yeah, they are wicked people. They do exist, right? But I was just saying that if you look at the circumstances from his own POV, you realize that
No, I think this
ought
person
to
is
be
talking about the cashier lady that
Okay,
were
okay.
saying that
Yes,
you
yes.
can't hear the story and not be
and not be
compassionate.
Actually, there are rude people like that. But what I was even saying was that nobody would air those things she said. Nobody would say it.
Yes,
Because
yes,
your
in
lives
the
are at stake.
presence.
It
Yes,
just takes
yes, you
one
just
snap,
calm down.
you are off. And I
Yeah.
don't think because you want to air your views, you will lose your life.
Yeah.
Right? One more request. I have one little request, guys. For those of us watching, if you don't mind, if it's not too much to ask, can we just like the broadcast? Let's like the broadcast so we can have, the algorithm do its thing. The algorithm is what it is, right? So if you could just take a moment to like the broadcast, thank you.
Also share.
Thank you. Share the link.
Share to your
We
WhatsApp
have one
status,
more segment
Instagram.
to go.
Yeah.
And in a moment of time, we'll be taking that. I'll be handing over to Ife to give us that segment. It's that segment that I'm always excited about. But I mean, for me, my rating of the movie Straw would be a hard 9/10. And I'm saying,
Wow.
I'm not giving them a 10/10 simply because, let's be factual, it was not 100% perfect, but it did what it was supposed to do. So I'm giving them a hard 9/10. It was a splific movie. It was worth the hype for me. Yes, I'm not an emotional person, but it got me to the point where, because see, the truth about movies is that can it take you to where the writer wants you to get to? And it did just that. It made me imagine life, made me introspect, made me become empathic. I just thought about, put myself in that shoe. This pain is real. And I think that's one way to be more humane, to be more human. When you can allow yourself be empathic, enter the shoes of people, you respond to people better, you respond to life on a deeper level. And for me, it will be a 9/10. And on that note, that will be a wrap on today's review of the movie Straw. But don't go anywhere. We still have one more segment, and it is the dilemma segment. And let me tell you a little about what dilemma segment is for those of us that are first time if I call them joiners, watchers, right? We have a segment called Dilemma. Now we have a community of people, and of course, you can also be a part of it. Just reach out to us on our social media, either via TV Redefined on Instagram, or you drop a comment here on any of our episodes. We'll definitely get you. You can reach out to us on on our numbers.
IG, TV Redefined.
Please, on any of the platforms. Yes.
Yeah, we have the full information.
We have all
there.
our full information there. You can reach out to us and you can share any dilemma you have. Let's say you have a question you need clarity on.
And it doesn't have to be about relationship.
Anything
Yes.
as it were. And so we're having some of our community people sending some of those questions, and then we do our best to bring counsel as we can. So I'm going to be handing over to Ife to read today's dilemma.
Yeah.
Over to you guys.
So today, Trent, I really need help. My boyfriend and I see faith very differently.
Why is there always relationship?
That's why I had to put it there that it's not only relationship.
People like love. Anyway, love is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I'm deeply spiritual and active in my church, but he's pretty casual about anything religious. Lately, I've been feeling the gap between us grow. I love him for who he is, but I also want to be with someone who shares my faith and walks that journey with me. What should I do? I'll take it one more time.
Please do.
Trent, I really need help. My boyfriend and I see faith very differently. I am deeply spiritual and active in my church, but he's pretty casual about anything religious. Lately, I've been feeling the gap between us grow. I love him for who he is, but I also want to be with someone who shares my faith and walks that journey with me. What should I do? Break up with him.
You heard that loud and clear. You whispered it right into the mic. Well, I would just say this. Let's be very honest. There's no need chasing many clouds. if he's not a believer, because the description you give there is very vague.
Yeah.
If he's not a believer, if he's not saved, you shouldn't be unequally yoked with with an unbeliever. The Bible clearly states that. However you want to describe that, don't be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. Two cannot work together except they be agreed. And if you're going to be with someone that is going to and you're going to be with someone for life, right? It means you are going in the same direction, not just
you bring
career-wise.
children into the setting.
Yes, not just socially, even spiritually, because it goes a long way in defining what the future looks like, what your children, like you mentioned, what your children will be born into, the realities they will have to face, the challenges they will have to face, the battles they have to fight. So these are things that you have to consider before you make certain decisions. And the Bible clearly states that there is no point being unequally yoked. In fact, doesn't advise. It says do not be unequally yoked. So it's a no-brainer. If this person is not saved, how is your boyfriend in the first place? But you get so if he's not saved and you are a believer, you are a staunch believer, then the remedy is to end it. And I say this, I shared one of my experiences. When someone gets saved because of you, it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
I shared with you one of my experiences. I had there was this girl I really, really liked. We liked each other, but it was clear that we're not going the same way because I was Papa on campus. She was not a bad person, but she was not a church person. She was not even serious with God at the time. She would eventually become, but she wasn't at the time when we met. But she was interesting because she was unusual. I liked her. I think one of the things that made me really like her, and this may be very honest, was the fact that she was not like every other girl around me. Every other girl around me was churchy.
Everything spiritual.
Yes, this person was not a bad girl. She was not like a baddie. And maybe she was a semi-baddie, but she was not really a baddie. Semi-baddie in the sense that she was a baddie. Semi-baddie in the sense that she didn't dress like church girls.
Okay.
She was not always dressing provocative and naked, but she was, you know what I'm saying now?
Yeah,
I grew up in the north, I schooled in the north, so you can imagine what I'm saying. They are more conservative, but she was a bit extroverted. She was more exposed. We would talk about things that, if I ask a toucher, she probably has never seen or heard about this. And because of my mind, I grew up, I went to some of the best schools. When as my primary school, secondary, I went to some of the best. So I was exposed very early. I knew things. I could talk about a lot of things very, very early. So I needed someone that we could click. Because one of the things I realized about this thing called spec, we talk a lot about spec in regards to physical features. But I think that one of the biggest spec that there is the mental spec.
Yes.
Mental spec outweighs physical spec.
Yes.
Because no matter how person is fine, you have one conversation with them and they say, I come, I go. My brother, you go. Right? There's a way you speak to someone, the person you're not clicking on the mental level, bro. No matter how fine the person is, if you are there, it's because you have ulterior motives. You want chop and clean your mouth. And that's the honest truth, especially for guys.
That's true.
Right? But if you want a future, usually people go for where the mental, there's a mental alignment.
Yeah.
So that was it for me. It was much more than the aesthetics and everything. We clicked on a mental level like I had never with any of the ladies around me. So I was so interested in this person, but I knew that this person was not saved. And somewhere in between, because it was interesting and both of us now liked each other. It was clear. We're not dating, but when everybody shall know that we like each other, right? So me now trying to lead her to Christ, the honest truth was, if I was going to be honest, was because so that I will be justified to date her.
Indeed, yes.
It was not because it was a soul. It was just me trying to.
You're not concerned about her soul.
I was trying to fatten her up for the right? Let me prepare this bride so that I will be justified before my brethren. Because I had some of my fellowship brothers come and meet me and say, "What are you doing? Like you're the description of church on this campus. Everybody knows you, right? But what this person you are rolling with does not look like it. At that moment, I knew that I can't go on. So I had to make a very difficult decision. It was one of the most painful decisions, but I had to. I had to tell her that this cannot work.
She cried.
It's me that cry. It's not like I cried, but I grieved.
But yeah.
I grieved. It pained me.
Wow.
It pained me because she was so interesting. Like I had never been that emotionally stimulated like that before. I mean, mentally rather, mentally stimulated like that. I felt alive talking with her. I felt like we could have so many conversations that were not the conventional, right?
Not just restricted to spiritual things.
We used to tell how interesting that was. We will come to school. It happened 3 days in a row. We will come to school. I used to have afternoon lectures then. I resume lecture by 12. So we'll come to school 12. I will miss lecture because so let me just put a disclaimer. At some point I was a very unserious student, but I was the best. I finished top of my class, top of my faculty. In fact, I was on scholarship at some point. Let me just put that there, right? Yes, but the thing is that this called me non-academic student because I was very unserious. But I was just intelligent, but I was unserious. You know, I just knew my way around. I knew how to make things work, and not in an illegal way, very legal, right? So we skipped classes for 3 days, just talking. We will sit by the canteen. We talked for hours. I'm telling you, this is not night call. This is daylight call. We will come from by 12. When afternoon lectures is ending by 6, that's when we are leaving. We have talked from 12 to 6 hours. When it's not God I'm talking to, right? So I'm saying that it was easy. The conversation flowed easily. But I got to the point where we needed to. It's either we need to define this relationship at this point. Are we going forward or are we staying there? And I knew. So she told me that she wants to get serious with God. She wants to give her life to Christ because she knew that was a factor for me. Okay, good and fine. I will not deny you the opportunity. She gave her life to Christ. Started attending my church then. She would always come. But I could tell that this thing really was largely because of me. And then I told her that I'm sorry. Aww. I love that you love God, or that you're getting closer to God, and I want you to continue. But
don't let it be about
this
me.
Relationship cannot work because the reason why, for now, maybe when you now finally, like when the thing hit you, you now. But what I'm trying to say at the end, what I'm trying to say, long and short of it, is that I had to let that go because we were not towing the same path. Although she was trying to make the effort. I just knew that I cannot, at that season of my life, gamble.
And another thing about spiritual alignment is that it goes beyond just the fact that having someone to pray with, having someone to talk to. It's the fact that being spiritual forms all of your perspective.
Yes,
there are some things you will not do, not because they are wrong, or not because society frowns on it, but because you are a child of God. Take, for instance, at your place of work, you will not want to forge documents, you will not want to steal because you are a child of God. Now, working with someone that they don't have the same kind of structure that you have around your life is not going to flow well, because everything about you, your decision, what made you what you are, this is that thing, and that person is standing against you. That's why the Bible said, can two work together except they agree. So
my counsel will just be this. I don't know how deep, because when she said it is casual about spiritual things. So
but he's a good person.
Now
good people plenty.
The truth of the matter is this: if he's born again and he's not just serious, right? There might be hope. Even if he's not born, let me be very honest, even if he's not born again and he's not yet born again, we have seen situations or cases of people that got married to people that were not born again, and some of them went on to become fathers in the body of Christ. We have that. So if we are going by examples,
but that's after marriage. If you this is before marriage, so run.
That means they dated before the
but both of this
the father of faith you're talking about, Baba Debo, everybody.
Yes, I know the movie.
When they dated, he was not.
But was the sister, like Baba's wife, was she a born again, devoted then?
She was the one that literally led him to Christ. So you get what I'm saying. So if you want to go by examples, let's be very honest. We have a straitjacket answer to this kind of situation, but there are always exceptions. There are always cases. There are cases, and I'm thinking. Imagine. Baba Adeboye's wife, mommy, decided not to marry because he was not born again and moved on. And later on in life, God encountered him and he got saved and everything, and he married someone else. She would have been thinking, this is... Now imagine she went ahead to marry him and he didn't get born again. People have said he went ahead and married someone that's not...
Even
so
you see that
there's going to always be someone out of everything. At the end of the day, but counsel because those are exceptions. Usually the order is that you have to be equally yoked with this person. The same yokings, that's the yokings of the cross, must be the same thing that yokes you. If this person is born again, but has not found his footing in Christ, his walk with God is still shaky and all that, yes, you can help him. You can be the reason. You can be part of the tools God will use to strengthen him. I'm not saying you will change him because that is a story for another day. But I'm saying that God can. Are you not? Are you trying to tell me that there are no women that became the reasons? Like God used them. They labored over the man, and the man became better. Some of those men became pastors.
After marriage, or before.
Anyone. Before you get to marriage, you not date me. So whatever you date in marriage, whatever you dated before marriage.
See, my whole issue is, I don't get the way you. In fact, let me read what she's saying again. Lately, blah blah blah. I love him for who, but I also want to be. I also want to be with someone who shares my faith. Because imagine being in a relationship with someone that you can't tell, like call him that I had a dream about this. This is what I saw. I think God is leading us. Why that face? And now, like, you have to hide a part of yourself from that person. So that's the issue I have with this. You want to be with someone that
from her statement, she says she wants someone that she can share faith. So I think the person is not even born again. But let me even just say that if it was someone that was born again and
but he's not
serious with God, right? So when we reviewed Professor Dilly in that movie, his fiance was the reason why, what was one of the major reasons why mercy was still extended toward him.
Yes.
In all the atrocities, was someone like that. Would you say his right with his ways was not right, although he was born again? His words that he was
even born again. That one don't collect in life back.
Isha believes in Jesus and he's saved, right? But his ways are not pure. His ways are not right, and it's cause for worry and concern. But the thing is this: God planted that woman around his life as one of the expressions of his mercy, one of the ways God can always reach out to him with mercy. Now imagine someone comes and preach to her. Eventually she left and we saw what happened to his life. So imagine someone came to preach to her and say, you are dating someone that is going through all of these things and you think you can change him. You know that honestly she couldn't change him, but we saw the effect of her life in his life. Her presence in his life. So taking her away I'm trying to say that a man can be like a hiding place from the wind. God can place a woman in a man's life as his last resort to get through to him. Because somehow, he knows that, okay, this person is there. This person understands certain things. There are people in the Bible, God asked certain people to marry prostitutes.
Yes.
So I'm not saying,
don't go and marry
before they go cut
in fact,
no, what I'm saying.
Thank God the camera is focused on you.
The point I'm trying to make.
I was not here.
The point I'm trying to make is that if God could at some point ask someone to marry a prostitute for a reason, it means that God can. Now I saw something that, I've just dived into what my devotion looked like.
Okay.
I was ruminating over something. Lately, Apostle, I've been thinking about teaching about mercy and all that.
Yes.
And then I was reading in scriptures how that Lazarus died. In fact, I'm going to do a post about it, but let me just give you a sneak peek. Maybe this might even be the post. I'll just cut it from here. Right. So when Lazarus was sick, they sent for Jesus, and they told him that Lazarus, your friend, whom you love, is about to die. Jesus affirmed it. The Bible says that Jesus actually loved Lazarus and his sisters.
Yes.
So it was not like Lazarus was famsing him. Jesus actually was a family friend today. It was more like a brother. They had a thing. They had a strong, cordial relationship between him and that family, Lazarus's, right? So when Lazarus was sick, Jesus was called upon because they know that if Jesus comes, he will be healed. This guy has been going about healing people. You know the pain of having someone that can do something, that is doing that thing for everybody, and then you are dying of that thing, right? Now that was it. 3 days after Lazarus died, or a few days after Lazarus dies, and then nobody told Jesus. Jesus told his disciples, Lazarus is sleeping. Let's go and wake him up, right? And then they went with him, and then he told them something. He said, Lazarus is dead. But when Lazarus was sick, he told the disciples, he said, Lazarus is sick, but I did not oblige them to go because of you. He said what he was trying to say to them was that I want to teach you something about faith, but in that school, the specimen I will use in this course of faith is the man Lazarus, a man I love. It is mercy. that what I'm trying to say is that God can trust a person with another person.
Yeah.
God can see a destiny so great and say, if this person is in this person's life, there's a great possibility of this thing being accomplished, right? So we are not saying that you will change the person. We are not saying that you have the power to convert the person. We are not the Holy Spirit. But you can become a force through intercession, through just sometimes even just your presence. The Holy Spirit can breathe upon it and become the reason why this person will be saved. So whilst we make general conclusions and say, leave him, he's not serious and all that, could it be that this is another person that God is trying to reach out to, and he's hoping that he can find a vessel in you, maybe through intercession, maybe through insisting on that person in the place of prayer that, oh God, don't leave this guy this way, and God eventually reaches out to him. And thank God we have a pattern even in today's contemporary world that we can say, okay, that's the situation. But also you have to now know if it is God that put you there.
That's the disclaimer.
Balance.
That's the disclaimer.
Real.
That's the disclaimer.
So, on this note, we have I have a comment here I must read. Izuma says, okay, let me start from up here. Star Queen says, hi guys, big shout out. Grace Akowe says, love you guys. We love you right back.
You too.
Treasure Ogechi says, the movie is so emotional. I agree 100%. Star Queen says, I must watch this movie this weekend. You should.
Need to, yes.
You should. Star Queen says, hi, Pastor Nakale. I know this had to do with when I was talking about the conversation
6
I
hours.
had. 6 hours conversation. My brother, I'm telling you, if you have done extra cool, you know what that is. Right? This one was even in the day, so it was more intense. Right? Blessing you fair. Smiles. And then Izuma says, Pastor Nak, what faculty did you graduate from? You're to artistry. Funny enough, what I studied, I'm not doing anything. It's what I studied. I studied public administration anyways, but it was in the social science, in the ambit of social science. So it gave me room to express, and because I'm a thought leader and all that, so you do more of that. You do more of protect. It's what you call defending your thesis, defending your thesis generally, basically. So that was what I did most of my undergraduate days. But yeah, to wrap it up, final note, what I'll just say to this lady is, what you want is possible. What you are desiring is possible. You can have, God has not run out of sons, right? You can have a relationship that there are sons that meet up with what you want. What you want is not too much. You are not asking for too much. God. I'm telling you, you are not asking for too much. If you want a man that shares your faith, you are not asking for too much. And if you agree with what I've just said, it is not too much. It's not too much for you to work out on that relationship if it is not living up to what you want. Like I said, your desire is not outlandish, is not unbecoming, is not unreasonable. It is very reasonable. And if it's not coming, if it doesn't look like this is a possibility, you should not put yourself through managing and trying to engineer and then the whole drama that comes with it, when you can just wait on God and God will bring the right person. So that's my own counsel. However, I gave a disclaimer earlier that God can do something.
There's a comment from Augustine Rejoice. Thank you very much for throwing this light. This is what I have been battling with.
Amazing. And you see, this just goes ahead to show the reason why we do this. We get to talk, and sometimes it's real life situations, and we don't know how many people will eventually stumble on this video, and this will be an answer to their situation. You're welcome. Big shout out to you, Augustine Rejoice, and it's so great to have you on the show. Thank you. Ife, final thoughts.
I will also buy into what you said.
Finally,
God has people. There are good people out there. There are Christians that will be even nicer. Whatever quality you are seeing in that guy, you can get it in another person with the added bonus of them being in the kingdom that you can have a conversation with. But also, to tie it back to what you said earlier, pray about it first, because number one, we don't know if you prayed about this relationship even before you started, or it was just vibes, like emotions and everything. So first, pray. From what you said you are a spiritual person, so that means you know how God talks to you. So pray, get God's counsel. Let's know what, or you should know what God is saying, and from there you can make your decision whether to proceed or to pull back.
Solid,
Yeah.
solid. Thank you, Ife. Ife, you should start a marriage counseling,
Yeah,
a
I'm
relationship
planning
counseling.
to. I'm planning to.
Maybe you can join the next cohort of Sweet Love with Purpose Academy.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's
Recommend
been.
me.
Yeah, I will. I'll try. I'll
Huh.
try. I'll
Thank
try.
you. Thank you.
It's been an amazing scintillating conversation, and let me know
Yeah.
if you've had an amazing time on the show today. You can just drop a comment as we begin to bring today's episode to a wrap. It's been super amazing. For those of you that have not seen the movie Straw, you should see it. I recommend it at least. I love the movie because there are no X-rated scenes.
Yeah,
It's
for the
family
first
friendly.
time, they are not trying
It's
to
family friendly,
push any
right? There was nothing like
propaganda,
that. There was
no
no
nudity, no
nudity. There was nothing of that. So just a soulful, real life
no unnecessary
depiction.
curse word,
Yes,
no
yes,
propaganda for lefties or
yes.
right or
whatever that means. Anyways, so right, in case you're yet to see that movie, you should see it,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And big
Sorry,
shout out to
I
everyone.
want to read one more comment.
Okay, yes, please.
From Augustine Rejoice. This is just a confirmation for me after receiving a scripture from the Holy Spirit. Thank you
Amazing.
so much.
Amazing,
Thank you.
amazing,
Thank
amazing.
you.
This is why we do what we do.
Yes.
Thank you. Izuma says, thank you, Trends. You're good. We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do
Aw.
about it. We love you too.
We love
right
you
back.
too.
Thank you. It's been amazing to have you guys with us. We'll be back on Monday. And you see that Monday, and we are coming to show you money. It's money day, so of course, just come pumped and have an amazing, super delectable, delightful, and amazing weekend. Yes, let me use this opportunity to invite you, in case you're watching Ambience TV and then you're not you're this is your first time, all right? Let me invite you to be a part. Join us on Sunday at any of our Light Nation branches. Wherever you stay, just tell me. We have a Light Nation branch there. If we don't, we have one close to that place. You can
Yes.
just sneak it, right? Or you can always follow us online.
Okay, there's another comment. Star
Aha.
Queen. Wait, our giveaway winner, Uncle. You guys
Ife,
promised us.
is Ife,
So the reason for the delay is because we have a tie
Okay.
for the winner.
Oh,
So we
amazing.
are going to put out another question.
Okay.
But it has to be something that you have to work for, because all the other questions were quite simple. So almost all the answers that we have
Were
are
quite easy.
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we want to give you a question that it will truly be a fan that has been watching us for a long time that will have the answer to it.
And you see, I cannot participate, David.
No.
I'll keep asking till
No.
you tell me yes. No, wala.
No, you cannot. So by Monday we'll have your question, and then the next episode, which will be Wednesday, will announce the winner.
All right.
Yep. And
So-
Thursday the winner will have their gift.
That's amazing.
Sharp,
Super
sharp.
fast. No wala.
Yeah.
Izuma says we need Light Nation in Cross,
Cross
River,
River,
Calabar.
Calabar.
Don't worry, Light Nation is coming to a city close to you very soon. Just keep praying, and God will give us the Macedonian call, and we will answer it very soon. We celebrate you. Big shout out to everyone. Like I said, be a part of our services in case you would love to join us at Light Nation Global, any of our branches. You know, you can join us 8:30 a.m. every Sunday. And in fact, this Sunday is a special one. If you have not been to church this month, be to church this Sunday.
This
because
Sunday, you don't
there's
want to miss it.
Ciao day, bro. Ciao.
You don't want
it's
to
going
miss
down.
it.
We have an amazing special service, where we just sit back, relax, unwind, and enjoy in God's presence.
We have
So
we
you should.
have people watching from all over the world. Star Queen is saying Light Nation from in Ireland.
Don't worry,
And
Light
then
Nation is coming
Ifeoluwa
to
too.
Ireland. Ifeoluwa beloved also in Birmingham. We have Light Nation in London. We have Light Nation, but it's in London, central London. So probably you might want to link up with them before we get to Birmingham. But we are definitely coming to a city close to you. We love you guys from wherever you're watching us. We say thank you. And from all of us here at Trends Today, till we come your way again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Food has a way of bringing people together. It's a universal language that transcends borders and cultures. But when you have great food with great minds, the conversation is truly unforgettable. Welcome to Pray, Love, Eat, where we sit down with some of the most fascinating people on the planet and have conversations that are just as inspiring as the meals. And we're doing this at nowhere else but Farm City. Let's go take a look.
Good morning. Welcome to Farm City, Abuja.
I never knew I was going to face the same struggle. You might be facing the same struggle right now. Millions of people have faced the same struggle without figuring it out until death took them away. The struggle of figuring out who you are and clearly describing who you are without mentioning what you do or what you've ever done. Join me on Ambience TV every Saturday as I walk you through the journey of discovering and living your purpose without the struggle of living.
In a world that moves fast, the past still pulls strings, and beneath every headline is a century-old story, begging to be told. From ancient thrones to modern trade wars, from forgotten revolutions to viral culture, we connect the dots others ignore, because to understand the now, you must first uncover the why. Ambience TV presents
Food has a way